Does it ever get easier? Wait, am I on the thing? Can you hear me?
No, I can hear me. I can't hear you.
I think you have to turn up my headphones. Oh boy, here we go. Happy Monday, everyone. There I am. Oh, there, it works. You know what's funny about that is that everyone listening, I think, could hear me the whole time. They're like, yeah, we can hear you fine, Brett. What's up? And I'm like, I can't hear myself.
You're just doing this so you can hear yourself, though, right? Like, the whole show is just so you can hear your own voice.
You mean the entire premise for this show is just so that I can listen back in the car and hear myself talk?
Yeah.
You know I love to hear myself talk. Okay.
It's the Brett Davern Show, brought to you by Adobe Radio in partnership with Night Sky Digital and recorded live in beautiful North Hollywood, California. On today's episode, I'm back!
Yay.
I tell you the best thing I've seen this week. We talk with Zach Gilford. You know him as Matt Saracen from NBC's Friday Night Lights, but he has a new show called LifeLine on YouTube Red, and I yell about Beau Mirchoff. Now let's get to the guy who also graduated high school 3 times.
That's me.
Your new best friend, Brett Davern.
Listen up, everybody. This is our show. Thank you for listening live on Adobe Radio, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast. You want to join the fun, you can call the show anytime, 1-888-99-IDOBE. That's 1-888-99-43-624. Shout out a friend, shout at us, shout with us, it's all good. Oh, also you can email the show. The email for the show is BDS, as in Brett Davern Show, fans, as in fanatics, at idobe.com. That's BDS, FANS, at idobe.com. What's up, Boy Wonder?
Hello.
And producer Katie.
It's National Mole Day, right?
Ew.
Not the gross kind, the animal kind.
They're both gross.
Really?
You don't think so?
I don't know. Moles are kind of cute.
I don't know about that.
No?
The ones that
they're
live
okay.
underground?
Yeah.
They're blind and have long front teeth, and they, like, chew up your yard.
Yeah, but sometimes when things are gross and annoying, they can be okay, and you can find something to like about them anyway.
Wow. Wow.
You just find the one thing that you like about that person, mole, I mean, and then you focus on that one thing, and it works out. You just need one thing.
Like their blonde hair, or their blue eyes, or...
Are we talking about you?
The way that they make
He just
people
wants to
feel
talk about
warm and
himself.
supported everywhere they go. Is that what you're talking about?
Something close to that, but maybe not exactly.
You know, seriously, you come back from your trip, you're here like 5 minutes, and you're already starting stuff. I'll have you know that I ran that board very mediocrely last week,
I think
and
you did
I
great.
can do it again. I can fail at running that board just as well as you can fail at running that board, Katie.
I was impressed. There's a lot of buttons, people. There's a lot of buttons.
It's a lot of buttons. This is Destruction by Joywave.
Thank you for watching on YouTube or for listening to the podcast version of our show. We love you. If you were listening live on Adobe Radio, you'd be hearing real music right now instead of this message. Sometimes rules don't allow us to play that kind of stuff on YouTube or on the podcast. Just putting it out there. Back with more show in a few seconds.
IW Radio. You can listen to The Brett Davern Show anytime. Just search for it on your favorite podcast app, but especially the Adobe app for iOS.
It's the best thing Katie's seen so far today.
Bloomberg.com has a report about the worth of the waste in Switzerland. Apparently, there's a bunch of refineries in the area, and 70% of the world's gold goes through those refineries. So there is $1.8 million worth of gold and $1.7 million worth of gold in the poop in Switzerland.
And that's the best thing Katie's seen so far today.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We should harvest that.
$1.7 million?
Of silver and $1.8 million of gold.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's a lot of shit to dig through. But hey, we've all done worse for money, I guess.
I mean,
have we?
Does that mean they drink it too?
Oh, what?
Not the gold.
What are you talking about?
The gold.
Do we drink gold?
No, do the Swiss drink gold?
Because it's in the water?
Yeah. Or is it just the wastewater? That's my question. Like, is it just, like, are they literally drinking gold water?
I don't think so.
Well, it might explain a couple things. They got it going on.
All right. What I want to do right now is we're going to call a super fan of the Brett Davern Show. Her name's Abby. She lives in Arizona. She used to listen to the old podcast. And throughout the first couple weeks of the show, we kept saying, like, call in, and she could never get through because, you know, the masses of people that were calling into the show. Or that we just forgot to turn on the app where people could call in.
We were
so she was direct messaging me on Twitter. She slid into my DMs and was like, "Hey, I'm trying to call you, but I can't ever get through." And so then I DM back and I was like, "Yo, we'll just call you instead." So hit the button. Let's call Abby and check in with her. And then we're taking another music break, and then we'll come back with Matt Sorensen, whatever.
Oh, Brett.
See if she answers the phone.
Abby?
Katie?
Hi, is this Abby in Arizona?
Of course it is.
Abby, this is Brett Davern in North Hollywood, California. How are you?
Oh, good morning, Brett. I am great now. How are you?
Abby's the best. Say hi to producer Katie.
Hi, Katie. I'm so happy that you're on the show and I get to talk to you now.
Hi, Abby. I'm so happy to talk to you.
Good Lord. Now I'm awake. Abby.
Brett.
Jeez. It's been a while since we've spoken, but, you know, we've been DMing, girl. What's going on? What's up with you? What's happening?
Not much. I'm awake at 7 o'clock in the morning just to talk to you.
No, come on. You were waking up anyway.
Oh, hell no. I don't wake up until real late in the afternoon.
What? Real late in the afternoon? What kind of life is this? What are you doing? How do you do that?
Come on. I'm 24. This is the time to sleep in.
Yeah, aren't you married?
I am married.
What, do you have a job?
I do have a job. I'm a nanny, so I don't work until they get out of school.
Oh,
so
I
technically,
see.
the day is to me.
Okay. All right. And you choose to spend that time sleeping?
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't judge, Abby.
And listening to you, of course.
I'm not judging. I'm asking. I'm trying to get to the bottom. I'm trying to get to the caramely center of Abby Kathleen. Abby, how's that husband of yours doing?
Oh, he's great. He's sitting here with me, just listening to you.
Still together, huh?
Yeah, still
Yikes.
together. I'm really sorry.
What? I'm just asking.
I'm really sorry. Don't be sorry.
Yeah, don't
Abby.
be sorry.
Don't be sorry.
He's sitting right there, Abby. That's not nice.
Wait, but you set an alarm every day for 7 a.m. and then in bed listen to the Brett Davern Show, right?
That's right.
Oh, yeah, no.
That's a yes. That's a yes, Abby.
Abby, do you catch the podcast or do you watch the show on YouTube?
I've watched YouTube a couple times, but it's usually the podcast. I'll listen to it when I'm driving.
I love that. Old school. I like it.
Although the YouTube's gotten some bells and whistles thanks to Boy Wonder.
Yeah,
so.
I do have to say, Boy Wonder has added a certain charm to the YouTube videos. We put up a lot of graphics, and he has his way with beans on toast and things like that. It's a lot of fun. But I like that Abby listens old school because that's how I like listening to podcasts, is just the audio. Just throw on the headphones or, like she said, listening in the car. That's how I do it. That's how I roll.
Yeah, I like to zone out, like if I'm driving or working out.
Oh, good. We
something.
help you zone out. I see.
Abby's in a head-on collision.
Whatever.
It's like, thanks to some idiot on a podcast, family of 4 perished in Arizona.
Oh God.
But Abby made it through just fine. Abby, thanks for following the show over to Adobe Radio. How do you think it's going so far?
I think it's going really well. I had a couple things to fix you guys on, and then you did it within like the next episode that I listened to.
Wait.
Well,
Hold on.
I have nothing
You
to
had
say.
some criticisms for us?
I did.
Abby, who doesn't even wake up until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, has got some criticisms for us? Listen, I got some criticisms for you, Abby. And it starts with that husband of yours. Listen to me. Here's the thing. No, I don't know. I'm just kidding. What were your criticisms? Let's hear them.
Well, because I listen on the podcast, I don't listen live. I didn't get to hear the songs, so I wanted you to say it before the break. But then you started saying it before the break, so now I can actually like listen to it while you guys are gone, and then stop it when you come back. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And I time it out, so it's like it's live.
Wow. Whoa.
Wow.
Did I tell you she's a super fan?
I love
I
Abby
told
Kathleen.
you, Abby Kathleen, #1 fan of BDS. She's got a bad case of BDS for sure.
Got it bad.
It
Abby,
is bad.
So
I've
what
been
you're
here since the
saying
beginning.
is you turn on the podcast, and then if I say the song title before we go to the break, you go find that song because you want to listen to the song during the break. Because for everyone out there listening, what we do is we by rule have to pull out songs that aren't licensed and aren't cleared. We can play them live if you're listening live on Adobe Radio, but for the podcast and for the YouTube versions of the show, we have to pull those out. But what Abby does is she puts the songs back in for herself and then
I do.
continues listening. That's amazing.
We love you.
Wow. And you do all that while driving.
So if there is a head-on collision, it actually is our fault.
That's incredible. Abby,
I'm devoted.
slightly uncomfortable question for you maybe, but the fact that your husband's sitting right there actually puts a smile on my face that I'm going to ask you this. while
Brett's
he's
in a
sitting
mood
there.
today, Abby. Just be warned.
Abby,
I love it.
am I still on the hall pass list?
You are.
Yes.
You definitely are. Because now you're
I'm
more
still there.
attainable. I actually
What?
talk to you and can.
Wait, more attainable? What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I can actually like go through you. I can message you and ask you like, hey,
Oh.
what are you doing?
See, she
Let
slid,
me come
slid
like
into my
see the
DMs.
show or whatever.
I wonder how
Yeah,
people hooked
I
up
slide
before
into that
Instagram.
DM.
What? Hold on. First of all,
All right. What?
Abby, my question as it pertains to your husband is Katie LeClaire on his hall pass list?
Oh.
That's the question. Come on, ask him.
I'm just gonna say yes because I love her and I'll force it onto him.
Maybe Katie's on Abby's hall pass list. Come on, Abby. So who's on the list right now?
All right. Well, here's the thing. When we first talked, I don't really have like a list put in order written down because that's just
You should.
psychotic.
I do.
I just have a lot.
I keep it in my nightstand drawer. Just in case
Or
I
look
ever
at the
need to.
photos of those people.
Yeah, just in case I ever need to refer to it.
Yeah, no, that's extra level. I just have a lot of people I like. So.
Oh,
when
there's
we
a
first
lot of people
spoke,
on the
I-
list. You know, I'm starting to not feel so good about being on this list.
Maybe you should just relax.
Is Zach Gilford?
Boy,
Is Zach
listen,
Gilford on that?
I know
Boy,
you like to
listen.
hear yourself talk, but I gotta tell you.
Whoa!
Oh,
Abby,
she's more and more
Abby,
my favorite
I'll
every
tell you
second.
what. The more you keep talking, you're edging your way off of my list. All right, Abby. I love you. I love your husband. I love the fact that you're a super fan of the show. Seriously. This went great. We're gonna call you from time to time. I love you, Ashley. Abby.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh no!
Wow!
Abby Kathleen, you're my favorite, even if Brett doesn't
Super
know.
fan, and you don't even remember my name.
Abby, I'm teasing you. No, seriously, we love you. Thank you so much for your support of the show, and have a good day in Arizona.
Thank you. I love you. I will always be here. So call
Oh,
me.
thanks, Abby. Kiss your husband on the mouth for me.
Oh, I will.
All right. This is Lithium by Nirvana.
watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast version of The Brett Davern Show. If you were listening live on Adobe Radio, you'd be hearing real music right now, instead of this message and whatever song this is. Sometimes the rules just won't let us play real music on YouTube or the podcast. It's not a big deal. Just putting it out there. Back with more show in a second.
We will be right back with Zach Gilford. You know him as Matt Saracen from Friday Night Lights, but he's got a new show on YouTube Red called LifeLine, and we will get into all of that right after all these things that I've done by the Killers.
Thank you for watching on YouTube or for listening to the podcast version of our show. We love you. If you were listening live on Adobe Radio, you'd be hearing real music right now instead of this message. Sometimes rules don't allow us to play that kind of stuff on YouTube or on the podcast. Just putting it out there. Back with more show in a few seconds.
Oh, man, what a song. I remember, that's the first Killers album, right? Like the first big one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's a
remember
good
when
one.
that album came out. That was one of those you put in and press play, and it's all good. Sweet. Joining us on the phone right now, speaking of sweet, I was going to say Killers, but that doesn't make any sense. Is Zach Gilford. Zach, can you hear me?
I can. What's up, y'all?
What's up, man? Good morning. Thanks for being on the show with us.
It's a pleasure. You know, bright and early, waking up, drinking my tea, talking to y'all.
Yeah, but like I was explaining, we had a call in last week too, and I was like, look, at least we're not in New York doing a morning show, because then you'd be up at like 4 a.m. Or maybe
No, then I wouldn't be on the show with you.
I was
then.
gonna say, or maybe not even agree to do the show at all. But we really appreciate.
No,
you
I've
being
literally
here.
had
Thanks.
that where they have me. They I'm like pushing something. Like, cool, we set up this whole line of like phone interviews.
Right.
We'll call you in at 4 a.m. I was like, nope, not doing those.
So I can put you down on my list of not a morning person.
No, I am a morning person, but there's a difference between waking up at 6 a.m. and waking up at 3:30 a.m.
Sure.
Like, that's not morning. That's just sometime. I don't know what that is.
It's ludicrous.
What is your morning routine?
My morning routine.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's actually pretty consistent. I basically wake up. Before I go to bed, I make this big pot of yerba mate tea.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I wake up. I pour that over some ice. I make these like stupid greens that I drink every morning with like probiotics.
Wow.
Then I make my dog's food because it has to sit for like 15 minutes. Then her and I go for a walk around the block. I meditate, and then I feed her food, and then I just kind of. Then from there, it's a crapshoot what happens.
What kind of dog?
Just a mutt. I have no idea. We actually have done the DNA test where we like swab her cheek and we sent it in, and it wrote back to like, sorry, we don't know.
You found out. You found out she's 80% Italian, 20% Irish.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's like a bit of Neanderthal in her.
Right. Yeah. Well, everyone has a little bit of the cradle of life in there somewhere, so that's Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, totally.
Zach, I got to tell you that your name, Zach, is my go-to fake Starbucks name. They always ask what your name is, and I just say Zach, but I say it with a K. But
And you make them write Zachary.
yeah, well, that's true. They say, what's your name? I say Zachary with a K. I don't know why. It just became Zachary.
He likes to make it
I
complicated.
don't either. I don't really know. The only time I've ever seen Zachary spelled with a K is when my grandfather would write me like cards. My whole life, I love that man, and he is amazing. And he was like notorious in our family for like he would write these notes.
Yeah.
For any sort of occasion in anyone's life. It might be like you get a handwritten letter saying like, "Hey, I heard you recently overcome a bout of constipation, and I'm so proud of you," and like whatever it was. But he never ever once spelled my name right. Like the incarnations he came up with were ridiculous.
That's funny. Well, if you ever need a fake name at Starbucks, you can go with Brett. That's all I'm saying.
I'll use Brett.
Yeah, we
With
can.
two
you.
T's.
Yeah, with 3 T's. You have to make it weird. So you
Oh.
gotta, you know what I'm saying? Katie never comes up with a fake name at Starbucks. She always just like she's like thinks she's going to, and then they're like, "What's your name?" And she's like, Katie. Like,
I never do the fake name thing either. But the other thing is, they're always like, I'll say Zach, and they're like, with an H or a K. I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I just want you to call my name and let me know I have like my whatever drink I'm ordering.
Like,
you can sell it, whatever makes you know how to read it.
Look, dude or dudette, I'm not trying to date you. I just want some coffee. Just give me the coffee.
Yeah, exactly. I
have-
actually went through a phase in high school where I liked to spell my name XAQ.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
That's
See,
kind of cool.
I just had to start going with Zach every time, or Zachary every time, because I would try to do a different name every time, but then when they would call out my name when the drink was ready, or my fake name, I would never remember what it was. And so I had to just go with one all the time. We really got off on that subject.
We did.
Sorry.
But while we're off subject, I'm
Yeah.
going to take it a little further. Because really the only time I've used a fake name, and there were a couple times where I tried it with like car service at the airport because they had like a sign.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I was an asshole and thought I was famous enough that anyone would recognize my name and care, which they never have. But anyway, so I had a fake name. And of course, I'm like walking around looking for this guy because I'd totally forgotten that I had given a fake name.
That's really...
Like, I literally called the car service. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a car. They're like, we don't have anything for Zach Gilford, blah, blah, blah.
That's
and finally
funny.
I figured it out. But so never done it again.
Is it like, can you say what the fake name was, or do you still use it?
I don't even remember.
Oh, right.
Like,
I have a
literally have
friend-
never done it since because I'm apparently too dumb to use a fake name.
I have a friend that does that. He's been on TV and whatnot before. I guess the only way I can really do this and say what the fake name is to not say who he is, I guess, right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so a friend of mine who does this, and his fake name is a name that he heard get called out over an airport PA one time. So there is a guy with this as his real name, but my friend uses it as his fake big-time celebrity guy name, and the name is Curtis Copencooper. Yeah. So I call hotels and I'm like, is Mr. Copencooper in? Yeah, good stuff. But there's some guy walking around with that as his real name. All right, back on subject, Zach. LifeLine, YouTube Red, it premiered on October 11th. Tell us all about it.
It's a show on YouTube Red. I'm like the worst at pitching stuff.
It looks, dude, it looks awesome. I mean, the trailer is incredible. The show is great. It's, I kind of was describing it. Katie and I were talking about it. It's like a little bit of Total Recall, a little bit of Minority Report.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, one of the things I liked about it was it kind of, I mean, I was fortunate, this is not common, but I got to read the whole season, you know, when I was deciding whether or not to do it.
Sure.
And, you know, kind of what I describe it as is like grounded sci-fi. So, you know, it's kind of this concept that I work for this company that secretively, you know, has the ability to know 33 days in advance when and where you're going to die. And then we have the ability to jump in the future 33 days to kind of save your life. But besides that, you know, which is not very realistic, everything else is, you know, it's still 2017 or whatever. So we're still on an iPhone or, you know, like the rest of the world is normal. It's not like, oh my God, it's this crazy alternative universe where we wear like weird shiny clothes and we, you know, have flying saucers.
Right.
So, you know, it's kind of fun because it's like, oh shit, like what if like this was going on? Like, cause you can kind of like, I think, escape into it a little more because everything else looks so like normal life.
Right. Yeah, no, it looks really cool, man. So is it all out there now, or does it come out weekly? How does it work with YouTube Red?
You know, I don't think anyone knows how it works with YouTube. I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Basically, they first dropped the first 4 episodes.
Okay.
On the 11th, and I guess the first one's free, and then for the rest you need to sign up for YouTube Red, which I think is like $4 or $5 a month or something.
Right.
And when you get that subscription, then if you go to watch whatever funny YouTube clip, like you don't have to watch ads anymore, like they're all gone, and then you get all their originals. But and I think week to week they're releasing the next 4. However, I think week 2 they accidentally released episode 6 instead of episode 5. Well, I don't know what's going on, but maybe that's, you know, they're trying to, you know, really get people intrigued.
I was going to say, maybe they're messing with the whole time continuum as well.
Exactly. That's what I think they're doing. I think YouTube is just smarter than any of us. And they've got this marketing thing figured out.
And the show's produced by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right?
That's correct.
Do you get to call him Rock, or do you call him Dwayne? What do you call
DJ.
him? Or do you call him Sir? What do you call him?
If I met him, I would call him Sir. I actually haven't gotten to meet him yet. I mean, that guy is so busy, but he luckily he was able to work in time where like our directors flew out to New York to film kind of a cameo for him for the show.
Right.
But everything I've heard, he's super nice, and he's trying to push the show as much as possible.
This is what I always hear about him, and I was hoping that you were going to say he was on set every day, because my question for you was going to be, does he have a trailer on set dedicated for just his like arm lotion, butter, oil that he always rubs all over himself? That was going to be my question, but all right, so I'll have to save
I'm sorry, I don't have the answer.
That's okay. That's all right. It's okay. Don't worry. No problem. I'll have to save that for another time. Also, let's see. So, we have the 10. We have this or that to do with Zach. Well, before we get to that, I would be remiss if I didn't let producer Katie here, because she, Zach, is just a Friday Night Lights super fan, as we all are. But I mean, Katie really takes the cake over here. When she came, so during the music break, Zach was on hold on the phone. And Katie was checking in with him, letting him know how much time we had left. And she almost hit the on-hold button and called you Matt.
No, don't
she did.
share that.
Well, it's true.
No, that's actually the one name I do respond to.
Sure.
Because I've been on sets where, like, ADs, directors, like, and they don't even say, like, oh, I love Friday Night Lights or anything, but they just keep calling me Matt, and I just go with it because again, I don't care. I know they're talking to me, so it's
the one syllable thing.
Okay with
I
it.
think I mean, it's obviously the Friday Night Lights thing, but it's also Zach, Matt. I mean, they're both nice and short, quick. Maybe that's part of it.
It's definitely.
I'm trying to give you
professional.
an out.
It's fine. Everything's good.
But
I respond to Daphne.
Katie, I mean, now that we have
Daphne, that's. Okay.
I'm sorry, that's probably out of the blue for you. I was a character on a show for 5 years where my name was Daphne. So, anyway.
But now
gotcha.
now that we have Zach on the phone, it's your big chance. Like, you got any questions for him? Any burning Friday Night Lights things that you want to bring up? Any just like fan fiction that you want to pitch to him?
The ones that I wrote myself. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I just want to formally apologize for the time that I creepily followed you around in Target in West Hollywood and didn't say anything.
Wow!
So
wait, what? When was this?
it was years ago.
Wow. Did that really happen?
Yeah, no, it really happened. I'm blushing right now, so thanks for that.
Go to
Brett.
YouTube and see the look on Katie's face. Man.
You just said hi.
I know, you're totally right. You're totally right. And like, no. Thank you for that. Wow. I would never have said this if Brett had not put me on the spot.
Here, I write down on my whiteboard, make sure to let Katie ask a question because she's a super fan. And you apologize for stalking him?
Brief. It was a brief
Katie.
stalking. It was a brief stalking.
Zach, I'm so sorry about this unprofessionalism on the Brett Davern show. I really apologize.
It's fine.
I'm sure I'm not the only person who followed you around at Target.
If you followed Zach around to Target, call in the show. All right, well, that's enough of that. Zach, let's do something with you that we do with all of our guests. I have 2 note cards, one in each hand, and they each contain a different line of questioning. And the way that we call this left or right, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them behind my back, and then you tell me right or left. I guess since you're on the phone, I don't really have to put them behind my back, but for everyone on YouTube, I will. So I'll put them behind my back now, and you tell me right or left.
Oh, so we're on YouTube right now?
Well, not live.
Well, we are.
It'll be on YouTube. Yeah, good one, Katie. Yeah, we will be eventually later in the day. But
okay, gotcha.
Right now,
interesting. All right, sorry. Hey, put your hands behind your back. Let's do this.
They're behind my back. All I need from you is right or left.
Are you ready? You said they're behind your back. Okay, let's go left.
Left. 10 questions. A lot of people go left. We really need to start keeping track, keeping a tally board in here. Yeah.
All right, so you picked the line of questioning called 10 questions. I couldn't come up with a better name for it. So 1 through 10, they start off a little easy, and then they get intense as we go along. Zach, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm good to go.
It's like it's 7:42 in the morning. Let's do this. All right, number 1. What is your most used emoji?
Oh man, I don't even know. I just started using emojis at all because I thought they were just for girls. So I don't know. I honestly don't have emojis. I use the Bitmojis, where you have a little caricature of yourself.
Yeah, sure.
So those are fun.
Those are fun.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
I'm really into GIFs or GIFs.
Oh yeah.
I haven't even decided what I call them.
Katie only exclusively GIFs in Matt Sorensen.
Saracen, and
Sorensen.
it's a lie.
Sorry, jeez. That was a test.
No, that's funny you say that though, because people always will come up to me and say, "Oh my God, I love that show. It's my favorite show ever. Sorensen was the greatest character," and I'm just like, how do you not know the name of a character on your favorite show?
You know what? In all seriousness, I had a friend in high school named Sorensen, and that's what's happening to me because I did that several times in the prep.
It's a more common name.
Yeah, Saracen.
But I know it's like being like, "Oh my God, Tony Baritone is the greatest character ever." I love that show. I guess that was more obvious because the show is called The Sopranos, so if you screwed up, you're an idiot. But
well, now I'm blushing, so go to YouTube and see me blushing. All right, number 2. What is your go-to coffee shop order? I guess we kind of already heard what you drink in the morning, but if you walk into a coffee shop, what are you ordering?
Probably a chai.
Tea man.
Number 3, what is your most watched movie of all time? So I'm not sure if it's your favorite movie, but it's the movie you've seen the most amount of times.
Definitely Braveheart.
Oh!
Do it.
I mean, I used to be able to recite every line of that movie.
I love you. Always have.
Is that your movie?
Yeah. Well, it's one of them for sure. Oh, I love that movie.
So good.
Yeah, it's so good. Never gets old. Number 4, who is your celebrity crush?
My wife, Keely. Keely Sanchez.
Good answer. Number 5, did you ever have an AOL Instant Messenger? And if so, what was your screen name?
Oh, I did. And my screen name
Oh, good. I'm excited.
it was Grand Goof.
That's great. Number 6. I thought of this question last night, so it's the first time we're going with this one. I'm changing it up. I know, I'm changing it up. We're still new at this. Number 6. Finish this sentence. Something I need to improve upon is.
Oh wow, these are getting harder. Something I need to improve upon is my arrogance. Is my arrogance.
Oh really? You seem like a humble guy to me.
I mean, I think I tend to think I'm right a lot of the time.
Oh, I see.
I'm not arrogant in the sense of like, oh my God, I'm so cool. More like I think I know more than most people.
That's weird. I don't know anyone like that.
Are you talking about yourself right now?
No, not at all. Number 7. How many unread emails do you have in your inbox right now?
Honestly, I think none. I'm a zero inbox guy.
That's good.
That's
good.
impressive.
Yeah, I like that. Number 8. Do you prefer wearing boxers, boxer briefs, tidy whities, or do you go commando?
Oh, I've been wearing boxers since I was 6 years old.
Nice. Regular boxers too, huh? Wow.
Yeah, regular. Apparently, it's my wife's always trying to get me to wear something else, and her argument is, no, they're more comfortable. Like, no, they're not. Like,
they're not.
How do you know? How can you tell me what's more comfortable? And she's like, no, they are. Every guy thinks so. I'm like, well, not every guy. And it's not as if I've never worn something else, and I'm aware of the fact that they're less comfortable.
That's funny. Without looking, do you know what color you're wearing today?
Color? Oh, they're probably, I don't know, plaid or something.
Plaid or something. Question works better when they're in studio, but that's all right. Because he's at home. He could just be sitting there in his boxers right now. Anyway. Number 9.
Yeah.
Number 9, Zach Gilford. What's next?
What's next? I have a couple things. Actually, I did, right after I finished LifeLine for YouTube, I went and worked on this other show for Sundance Now, which is called The Noise. And it's super, I had a great time. And it's 6 episodes. I think it's going to come out in like January, but it was created by a man and a woman who are both deaf, and they played the 2 leads who are best friends, and I'm her fiance. And it's really cool because, if you pitch it as, oh, it's 2 good friends in their 30s trying to make their way in the world, it's like, oh yeah, that's every show.
Right.
But when they're deaf, it's a little different because they have this, special connection that no one else has with them. So within a marriage or a relationship, her and I have our romantic connection, but there's that kind of intimidating thing that I'm always insecure about how she's just has a deeper connection with this other guy.
Sure.
And he's gay on the show, so it's not even fear of some romance between them. It's just an
emotional
fear of that. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's really cool. They did an amazing job with it. It was a lot of fun to do.
Great.
And besides that, right now I'm also working on this new NBC show called Good Girls, which I think comes out in January or February. It's starring Retta, Christina Hendricks, and Mae Whitman.
Nice. Oh, good, man. Congratulations. When does The Noise come
Thank you.
out? Is that?
It's supposed to be in January sometime.
Okay, both things in the new year then.
Yeah.
Did you have to learn to sign, Zach?
I did, which was really fun. The lucky thing is my character is supposed to be kind of a sloppy signer.
Okay.
And like, kind of his thing is when he first started dating his girlfriend, he wanted to impress her and wanted to learn, and he's much more sensitive to it, but also like within the relationship, she's kind of an enabler because she can read lips and hear a little bit when she puts hearing aids in, so she can voice.
Yeah.
And so she kind of will speak and like read his lips or whatever, and so he kind of starts to take it for granted. And I mean, that was another thing that was just so smart about the show is like you see over the course of the relationship, my character going from like trying to sign and whatever to then just like not, mostly just talking and kind of how that wears on the relationship. But the funny thing was, and it worked, but I started this, they called it most people sign ASL, not most, a lot, and that's what we were generally using on set, which is American Sign Language. So I learned a bunch, and then you start thinking like, oh, I think I know this sign. And the example I would use is I'd sign I like your hair, and then for hair I'd do this like weird motion with my fingers and like as if I'm like like pat, like I don't know, wiggling like my long locks of hair or something. And someone would say, oh, thank you, and then I'd be like, oh, that's the sign for hair? I got that right? And they'd be like, no, it's not at all, but I kind of understood what you're trying to say. So they're like, oh, you do ZSL, you do Zach Sign Language, and we all kind of pick up on it.
That's funny. Oh, that sounds like a good show.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
It'll be cool.
I like the
It'll be
Duffies.
cool.
Yeah. Number 10, final question, Zach, and thanks again for being on the show. Zach's new show, LifeLine, YouTube Red, everybody. Go check it out. Number 10, this question is the most important question. I ask everybody that I ever meet this question. It's a simple question, maybe a simple answer. I'm not sure. But the thing is, your answer to this question tells me everything that I need to know about you as a person. All right?
Wow. This is going to be heavy.
What is your favorite fruit?
Favorite fruit? If it's like perfectly ripe, it might be mango.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good fruit.
Yeah.
It's a great fruit.
That's a good one. Zach, thanks so much for being a part of the Brett Davern Show, man. We really appreciate it.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me. Y'all have fun the rest of your morning.
All right. This is Your House by Jimmy Eat World.
Thank you for watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast version of The Brett Davern Show. If you were listening live on Adobe Radio, you'd be hearing real music right now, instead of this message and whatever song this is.
Sometimes the rules just won't let us play real music on YouTube or the podcast. It's not a big deal. Just putting it out there. Back with more show in a second.
Keep up with all things Brett Davern Show on Twitter. At Brett Davern Show, IW Radio.
Song's still going.
I called it too early. I said we today made it through with no mistakes. I called it just
It's your fault.
too early. That's all right. It wouldn't be the Brett Davern Show without at least one. Katie,
Yes, Brett.
so you have beef.
I have a huge bone to pick.
You have major beef.
Major.
You have
major. Beef.
Black Angus-sized beef.
Here's the thing about Beau Mirchoff.
Girthy beef.
All right. I get it.
Super thick, muscly, girthy beef.
Are you hungry right now? What's going on?
I love beef.
Beau Mirchoff.
No, I just want Boy Wonder to have fun with the YouTube video.
All
later.
right. Can I talk?
Go ahead.
Beau did a nice job.
Hold on. Let me set this up. Let
Okay.
me interrupt you.
Of course.
You have beef with one William Beau Mirchoff,
Indeed.
the Canadian Wonder.
Why is everybody a wonder? No, there's one wonder in the
The
room. It is Boy Wonder.
hairy-chested man-child beast man, William Beau Mirchoff.
Yes.
Some of his friends call him Bilbo.
Which I actually really like.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome,
Yeah.
actually. Go ahead. What's your beef? Beef. Beef. Beef, 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 beef. Go ahead. Everyone will have to go to YouTube to see that
Okay,
joke.
so last week I was out of town for most of the week.
Yeah, we know. We struggled on without you.
You did a great job. And Beau did a great job. However,
some would say we did so great. We don't know why you're back. Just
Rude.
kidding. I'm sorry. I'm kidding.
can I talk? Or are you going to interrupt me again? Beau came in 2 days while I was away. And you guys had shows. They were good shows. I listened live on Tuesday. On Thursday, I could not listen live, so I listened back afterward. Tuesday, I had some notes because I was listening live. And apparently I'm a corporate suit now, so I am your boss, and I just get to boss you around. That's what was said on the air, so I'm just going to accept that.
What a jerk. I can't believe he said that.
You said that,
Nah, I don't
Brett
remember
Davern. That was your mouth.
Am I allowed to talk?
I mean, you are, so.
I'm asking the corporate suit.
Yeah, you can talk.
You sold out to the man, Katie.
All right, shut up again. This is the thing. Beau got it wrong. First of all, my eyes are green,
Whoa,
not
let
blue.
me turn down your microphone.
Second of all,
this is
I'm
getting
in
kinky.
the middle of my rant.
Go ahead. It's just getting
Second
pinky.
of all, we're a morning show, and the slow tunes have got to go. We want to wake people up. We want to give them some positivity. This, like, sad, sappy, freaking, I can't even handle how
I
slow
told
these
him
songs are. I don't care. You played them on Tuesday, all right?
Listen.
So these are, no, I'm not done. And third, I introduced Beau to Beans on Toast. I don't care what he says. I have the text to prove it.
Oh, wait a minute. Scandal.
Yeah.
Scandal.
I looked it up. I
Scandal
scrolled back
music.
in the
we
conversation.
need the music like the like scandal music. Wait, hold on.
What?
Okay, I understand your beef. You're a little upset because
Mhm.
Beau came in and crushed the co-host job.
Oh, yeah.
Crushed it. And so you're feeling it. It's a little raw for you. And I understand.
My
I
eyes are
understand that
green.
you're upset that he's taking your job and that he'll be in tomorrow and that you've been
He's
replaced.
in a van somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
No, but okay. So you're upset about the suit thing?
I'm upset about all three things that I just said.
Yeah.
The suit wasn't even one of them.
But
I am a corporate suit. I've accepted it.
What I'm trying to get to is you have proof,
Yes.
definitive proof,
Yes.
that you introduced Beau Mirchoff to Beans on Toast, not the other way around, which is what he claims.
That is what he claims. Now, to be fair, maybe he listened to Beans on Toast. However, in the world where we send each other music on Spotify.
No, but that's not what he said. He didn't say I had heard Beans on Toast before, then
is
Katie
not.
sent it to me.
I know.
He said
I sent it to him.
He said, Beau said, I introduced Katie to Beans on Toast.
No, that's
And
not how it goes.
Yours.
That is what he said, but
yeah,
that's not what
I'm
happened.
saying.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big Frank Turner fan. Frank Turner and Beans on Toast are best friends or
Uh-huh.
good friends. I don't know. Anyway, I found Beans on Toast.
And you have the text to prove it.
I did, yes.
Okay.
MDM Amazing is the song that I sent to Beau. Beans on Toast, I'm claiming it right now.
Well, we're screenshotting that text and putting it up during the YouTube video.
Oh, well, let's make sure there's nothing else on
hopefully
that
there's
text.
no nudes above it or below it.
They're all from him if they're there.
No, I know, but you can't see anything because of all the...
We'll cut around it. All the hair.
All the Brillo pad of delight, as he calls it.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
All right, that's enough show for today. Do we cover it? Are you good?
I mean, I think...
Any more beef?
I think the beef has been cleared.
Okay.
If he would like to, defend his position, I invite Beau to call in.
I think let's call him tomorrow. Let's call him tomorrow and get to the bottom of it.
All right.
We'll get to the caramelly center of it.
Oh, boy.
Still trying to say it. Are you good?
Yeah.
That's a wrap, everybody, on another edition of the Brett Davern Show. Thank you for listening live on Adobe Radio. You can also subscribe to the podcast version of the show on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you like what you heard, everybody, just tell a friend. That's all we ask. We don't have any sponsors yet, but when we do, I'll ask you to tell a friend about our show and support our sponsors. But until then, you only have to do 50% of the job, which is just recommending this show to a friend. That's it, everybody. Let's grow this thing. Let's become a real family. Say sayonara, Producer Katie.
Sayonara, sucker. Beau Mirchoff.
Okay. Producer Katie's on Twitter at Katie LeClaire. There's a C at the end. I'm on Twitter at BDAV, BDAVV, as in... I'm just trying to find a way to work beef in again, but I couldn't figure it out.
Very beefy.
Today's guest, Zach, with an H, Gilford, can be found on Twitter at Zach, Z-A-C-H, Gilford, G-I-L-F-O-R-D, 713. That's that's the verified Twitter account, Zach Gilford 713. So I'm assuming there were 712 other Zach Gilfords on there. Or, 7 was Saracen's number. I don't know what the 13 is.
Maybe it's his lucky number.
I don't know. We should have asked him.
Yeah.
Anyway. Check out LifeLine. It's on YouTube Red right now. Seriously, the show does look awesome. It's action-packed. It's futuristic and time travel and action, and yeah, it looks awesome. Check it out, everybody. Once again, for Katie LeClaire, Boy Wonder, Abby Kathleen Superfan in Arizona, Zach Gilford, who I think now is a superfan. I'm Brett, and I'm reminding all of you to be kind and take care of each other. We'll see you tomorrow. That was our show. Good night, Katie's dignity, as she followed him around that target.
Oh.
Adobe Radio. Did you know you can watch The Brett Davern Show on YouTube? Yeah, you can. Go to youtube.com/Brett Davern Show.